Uganda versus Erias Lukwago, alias Salong.
May it please Your Honor. Nyamwiza Jude, Senior State Attorney from the Office of the DPP. Together with me is Namunya Irene, we noted that in the charge sheet that was previously uploaded in this court, there were typo errors, especially Your Honor, on the CRB, the Katwe CRB, which had the year as 206 instead of 2026. So we corrected that error. Your Honor, we further got information from the particulars of the national ID of the accused person. We had area relayed quotas. He was called Salongo, Erias Lukwago. However, from the particulars of his national ID, he is Erias Lukwago. So we've amended that to include Salongo as an alias. Those are the particulars that we've actually amended on the charge sheet. We pray that this honorable court is pleased to read the charges afresh to the accused person.
There is an amended charge sheet?
The amended charge sheet, Your Honor, is already uploaded on the ICMIS.
Yes, I've seen it. I've seen it and I've...
We pray that court reads the charges afresh and he takes play on the same.
Yes, Erias Lukwago. Salongo, are you with us? Yes. You're charged with misprision of treason, contrary to Section 25 of the Penal Code Act, Cap 128. Can we go on? Yes. Yes, Erias Lukwago, alias Salongo, and others still at large between 2021 and November 2024 at various places, including Nairobi in Kenya and Kampala district in Uganda, knowing that other persons to wit, Joel Wakaima, Frank Chiherere at Kunda, Haj Obed Lutale, and Colonel retired Dr. Kizabes Jechipepe intended to commit treason. You did not give information thereof with all reasonable dispatch to the minister, an administrative officer, a magistrate, or an officer in charge of a police station, or use all reasonable endeavors to prevent the commission of the treason. It's not allowed to take plea because the DPP has taken over, so this court has no jurisdiction now.
Your Honor, we've uploaded the indictment, summary of the case, wherein the DPP has decided to have the accused committed high court for trial. We pray that this court is pleased to proceed and commit the accused to high court.
Well, Your Worship, in a number of respects, as you mentioned, your hands are tied, and we will understand. that before the committee, some issues that we want to bring to your attention, because he's currently your prisoner. You remanded him.
Yes, I did.
And because you remanded him, the concerns as to how he lives in prison are still a matter within your hands.
Yes, so let us first commit him and then you can submit as well.
Right.
That is the first thing.
Most of bread.
Yes, Salongo Erias. This is the summary of the case. The Director of Public Prosecution shall at the trial adduce evidence to prove the following facts. That Erias Lukwago, alias Salongo, herein referred to as the accused, is an advocate and the president for People's Front for Freedom, a breakaway political party from Forum for Democratic Change, both of which were founded by Colonel Dr. Kizza Besigye. That before joining PFF, that is People's Front for Freedom, the accused was a member of the Democratic Party and Forum for Democratic Change, respectively. Until May 2026, the accused was the Lord Mayor of Kampala City and Member of Parliament for Kampala Central. That throughout his political career, he has been a critic of the current ruling government and has participated in activities aimed at ousting the government of the Republic of Uganda together with Colonel retired Dr. Kizza Besigye, herein referred to as Kebi, Honorable Semuju Nganda, and Honorable Salam Musumba, among others. That Colonel retired Dr. Kizza Besigye is a retired Uganda People's Defense Forces officer, having served the army in various senior positions previously. He is also a founding member of the Forum for Democratic Change political party, that is FDC, where he served as its president for several years. He is also a former multiple presidential candidate in Uganda. That Kebi, when I say Kebi, I refer to Kizza Besigye, has been fiercely opposed to the current National Resistance Movement government. Over time, he has openly expressed his desire to change the leadership of the country through violent means, such as the infamous Walk to Work political protest and the Defiance campaign. That Haj Obed Lutale is a member of the People's Front for Freedom and a personal assistant to Kebi. That RO 12743 Captain Owola Denishoya is a UPDF officer attached to the Armored Brigade. That Andrew Wilson, herein referred to as AW, is a proprietor of a private security company that deals in various security-related services, including sale of firearms, investigations and tactical training on firearms, among others, since 2003. That sometime in the year 2021, Andrew Wilson, was contacted by Mr. Joel Wakaima, herein referred to as JW, a Ugandan citizen who was based in Switzerland. JW informed AW that he needed a company to provide firearms, weapons and training to some Ugandans, both domestic and in the diaspora, to overturn the government of Uganda by force of arms. JW requested AW to execute the work for him. That upon listening to the details of the requests of JW, AW realized that it was criminal and decided to search for Ugandan authorities to report the matter. AW was provided with the contacts of the commander of the Ugandan contingent of Amazon, a senior UPDF officer who at the time was based in Somalia. AW narrated to the UPDF officer that JW was planning to do and inquired what to do. The UPDF officer requested AW to become a government spy and to continue engaging JW in order to establish the details of the plot to overturn the government of Uganda, which AW accepted. AW was introduced to intelligence officers at the then Chief Nurse of Military Intelligence, CMI, under whose supervision he continued to work and to whom he regularly reported all the activities. That AW then continued to engage with JW over the next 2 years until 2023, when JW introduced AW to Salam Musumba. AW had a conversation with Salam Musumba by Zoom call, and the proceedings of this meeting were recorded by AW. During this meeting, Salam Musumba requested for the training of their people in covert communications and intelligence gathering techniques for the purpose of spying on the government of the Republic of Uganda. That Salam Musumba subsequently requested for a meeting with AW in Brussels, Belgium, where she invited many other people to attend, including the accused, Erias Lukwago, Honorable Semujunganda, Lubega Mukaku, and Charles Romushana. In the discussions at this meeting, AW accepted to join the plot to overturn the government and agreed to be their security and military advisor. The accused was aware of the meeting, that is Erias Lukwago was aware of the meeting between AW and Salam Musumba, but did not report it to any authority. The discussions at this meeting were recorded by AW, and the recording shall be relied upon at the trial. That upon building sufficient trust in AW, Salam Musumba requested JW to introduce AW to KB. This was done, and the two, AW and JW, had an online discussion with KB about the grand plot to overturn the government of Uganda by force of arms. This culminated into the first physical meeting between KB, that is Giza Besige, and AW on the 29th of October 2023 at Geneva, Switzerland. That the first physical meeting was held in Geneva, Switzerland on the 29th of October 2023 and was attended by AW, KB, Frank Chihere Atkunda, and JW. At this meeting, the group discussed the plot to overturn the government of Uganda by force of arms. KB requested for military assistance from AW to destabilize Uganda. KB also requested AW to train some of his allies in covert intelligence and paramilitary tactics, which request AW accepted. KB further requested for counterfeit Ugandan shillings with intention to seek into the economy of Uganda through his collaborators, who he stated to be officials in Bank of Uganda, as a means of raising finance for KB's objectives and also destabilize the economy. In the same meeting, KB, JW, and Frank requested for ricin poison, to poison targeted government officials. That further in the same meeting, KB provided AW with a list of government security installations and military facilities like the 2nd Division, Makenke Barracks, Bugembe Barracks, Bihango Military School, Kachoma Mountain Brigade, Kabarole, Gaddafi Military Barracks in Jinja, Magamaga Military Barracks in Mayuge District, Marine Division, Luzira, Air Force Academy, Nakasongola, Engineering College, Lugazi, Senior Staff College, Chimaka, Singo, Karuguta Training School, Ntoroko Military Intelligence and Security School in Nakasongola District, Machinde Military Barracks, Police School Wevaje, and Oliver Tambo, Kweweta, among others, as targets for attacks. That after agreeing to conduct a training in Kisumu, Kenya, Frank Chiherere Atkunda traveled to Uganda with KB to organize their intended group of people for training. The proceedings of the above meeting were recorded using a covert camera by AW, and the same will be relied upon during the trial. That KW and AW created a strong communication, that is, or relationship through social media, including WhatsApp. KB provided AW with his Swiss contact line number, that is +41 77 81 38 990, through which he frequently communicated with AW on mobile line number +19 54 39 40 141 WhatsApp. During the period from their first meeting on 29th October 2023 up to 16th of November 2024, KB and AW had numerous conversations and exchanged numerous social media messages, wherein KB discussed with AW. Are you okay? Can we proceed? Yes. Wherein KB discussed with AW details of his intentions and the plot to overturn the government of Uganda by force of arms. A forensic extract of the record of their conversation shall be relied upon during the trial. That KB attended another meeting on the 24th of January 2024 in Geneva, Switzerland, which was also attended by AW and JW. At this meeting, KB assured AW that he was committed to facilitate the training of his people to overturn the government of Uganda by force of arms. In this meeting, KB and JW further requested AW to assassinate the President of the Republic of Uganda using a drone strike. KB undertook to provide AW with the President's movement routine and vulnerable points to facilitate his assassination. In exchange for AW's assistance, KB and JW undertook to grant the Kurdish government company access to Uganda banking sector to launder money, permit the use of Uganda's airfields for trafficking illicit goods, including drugs, use Uganda as a safe haven for Kurdish fugitives, and generally permit the use of Uganda for illicit activities once the plot to overturn the government was successful. That by virtue of his leadership position in PFF, the accused was aware of all the meetings between KB, Frank Chihere at Kunda, JW and AW in Geneva, Switzerland, and the plot to overturn the government of the Republic of Uganda by force of arms, but deliberately did not report to any authority. That on the 14th day of June 2024, KB attended a meeting with AW and JW in Geneva, Switzerland. In this meeting, the participants further discussed the plot to overturn the government of Uganda by force of arms. KB requested AW to arrange for the training of a selected group of like-minded conspirators from Uganda, who included Samuel Makoha in Kisumu, Kenya, in intelligence gathering, surveillance operations, espionage techniques, and use of drones to be used in overturning the government of Uganda. In the same meeting, KB and JW repeated their request for AW to supply them with counterfeit Ugandan currency, drones, weapons, and grenades, which they codenamed pineapples. KB provided AW with airstrip coordinates 21735 N32134 E6 GHH72VH plus 2P 72VF plus 2P length of strip, 1,900 meters, 6,233 feet, altitude 5,266 feet, 1,605 meters, MSC. In DRC for airdropping of weapons. KB further informed the meeting that he intended to use part of the Zambian territory for training and logistics. At the same meeting, AW gave KB $5,000 to facilitate the movement of Makoha Samuel and other selected Ugandan trainees from Uganda to Kisumu in Kenya for training. That the accused knew of the meeting in Kisumu, took part in the mobilization, and authorized the travel of the participants from PFF, who included Samuel Makoha, for the said training in Kisumu, Kenya, with the intention of overturning the government of the Republic of Uganda by force of arms. That during the meeting of 29 September 2024, KB and AW agreed as a way forward to hold a meeting in Nairobi, Kenya, where KB would be able to meet the Kurdish Iraq contact for AW. KB and AW continued communicating to each other via WhatsApp on mobile lines +41 77 81 38 990 and +19 54 39 40 141 respectively. The WhatsApp communication chats between KB and AW about convening the Nairobi meeting will be tendered and relied upon in court during the trial. The group agreed to have a follow-up meeting later in Nairobi, Kenya. That the said meeting of 29 September 2024 was recorded secretly by AW and another individual who was AW's agent. The recordings will be tendered and relied upon in court during trial. That on the 16th day of November 2024, KB Hajobed Lutale, together with AW and his Kurdish contact, attended a meeting at 108 Riverside apartment in Nairobi, Kenya, to further discuss the plot to overturn the government of Uganda by force of arms. The Nairobi meeting was attended by KB Hajobed Lutale, AW and his Kurdish contact, who was posing as a representative of the Kurdish government company. At this meeting, KB introduced Hajobed Lutale as his personal assistant and a person who was part of the plot to overturn the government of Uganda. At this meeting, KB repeated his request to be supplied with surface-to-air missiles and other weapons to attack helicopters and aircraft as one of the ways to overturn government of Uganda. Kebbi and Hajobed Lutale also briefed the meeting about their plot to instigate civil disobedience strikes in Uganda, starting with assassination of the President of the Republic of Uganda in March 2025 in order to achieve their objectives. That being the leader of PFF, the accused was aware that Kebbi and Hajobed Lutale, who are also members of PFF, traveled to Nairobi, Kenya, and attended a meeting with AW, whose sole aim was to overturn the government of the Republic of Uganda, but he still did not report it to any authority in Uganda. That the accused also knew that JW and Frank Cherera Tukunda approached AW for assistance in a plot to overturn the government of the Republic of Uganda by force of arms, but did not report it to any authority in Uganda. That the accused further knew that Kebbi had approached AW, and that the two, Kebbi and AW, together with JW, had held several meetings in various places in which they contrived a plot to overturn the government of the Republic of Uganda by force of arms, but still did not report it to any authority in Uganda. That on the 17th day of November 2024, Kebbi and Hajobed Lutale were handed over to the Ugandan security officers from Defense Intelligence and Security at Malaba border, together with several exhibits, which included their mobile phones, 2 pistols, and other items. The two were later charged at the General Court Martial in Machinde with offences under the UPDF Act, by UPDF GCM 040/2024. However, following the decision of the Supreme Court in the case of Attorney General versus Honorable Michael and others, the matter was taken over by the Uganda Police Force, which conducted fresh investigations from 12th of February 2025. As a result, Kebbi, Hajobed Lutale, and RO12743 Captain Owoladeni Shoya were charged with treason and misprision of treason via Nakawa criminal case, criminal case number A008-2025, 0285-2025, and CID headquarters E033-2025, and committed High Court for trial. That the accused was examined on PF24 and found to be of normal mental status. The medical report will be tendered and relied upon during the trial. That police investigations retrieved immigration records and travel history of Kebbi, Hajobed Lutale, Simon Rutarondwa, and others. The records were analyzed and confirmed that the various individuals traveled outside Uganda during the periods of the alleged meetings and trainings. The immigration documents and records shall be tendered in court. That since 2021 and all along, AW was constantly providing updates to his handlers within Uganda's military intelligence. He covertly recorded both on video and audio all relevant meetings with Kebbi, Hajobed Lutale, JW, and other conspirators, and shared these recordings with intelligence officers in CMI. He later handed over the electronic gadgets used to make the recordings and the audio-video recordings to investigators. These were forensically examined, and the resultant examination reports shall be relied upon at the trial. That prosecution shall contain that the accused knew Kebbi, Hajobed Lutale, Simon Utarondwa, Joel Wakaima, Franka Tukunda were intending to commit treason, but did not report it to any authority in Uganda or use reasonable endeavor to prevent the commission of treason. That prosecution shall further contend that the accused person indicted in this case acted with common intention and in concert with others, and is culpable as such. Whereupon prosecution shall contend that the accused person does not have any valid defense to the indictment, and he should be convicted as indicted. Salongo, you are committed to High Court for trial. I think that's the end of the indictment. That's all.
Mr. Bradley.
Yes, you're committed to High Court for trial at the next convenient High Court session. That's where you will take plea, and you will have a right to apply for bail in the High Court.
Thank you.
A copy of the indictment and the summary of evidence. We should see those signed by
the signed
court.
ones.
Yes, this is the
Much
signed
obliged.
copy of the court.
You
Yes.
can-
A copy is handed over to you, but of course your lawyers are linked into ICMIS. They can access the details via email. Yes, Madam.
Your Worship. The machinations have been well understood. You did, upon remand, direct that the accused person be referred to Mulago National Referral Hospital and made specific directions. Among others, to be medically examined and a report be given to this honorable court. The Commissioner General of Prisons and other prisons authorities did comply and referred the accused, took the accused to Mulago.
Slowly, Counsel. Come again, Counsel.
The Commissioner General of Prisons and other authorities did comply and delivered the accused person to Mulago National Referral Hospital. And he was received on the 25th day of June 2026. Whereupon a team
On the 25th.
of June 2026, whereupon a team of senior specialists was constituted as per the report. That was forwarded to court on 30th June 2026. Actually, there were not 5 more, but 5 are specifically noted at page 2 of the report, page 1 of the report. They included Dr. Norbert Orotho, a senior orthopedic and spine surgeon, as team leader. Dr. Michael Ngoma, a senior consultant physician and cardiology. Dr. Stephen Matovu, senior consultant. Physician and neurology. Dr. Joel Chiliawire, a consultant neurosurgeon. And Dr. Edward Chironde, associate consultant, orthopedic and spine surgeon. There are others that you will find in the report that participated. Fast forward, Your Honor. The team established the following. And I know that you have read the report. I only want to take you to two things. The last segments, which is conclusion and recommendation. They did establish that the accused has hypertension, which is controlled with antihypertensive medications. Number two, and with emphasis, is that he has unresolved post-COVID-19 lung complex. Unresolved post-COVID-19 lung complex with a residual mild cylindrical, from like cylinder, cylindrical bronchitis, For the benefit of my learned friend Judith Nyamwiza, the spelling is BRO NCH CRO NCH IE TASIS. Now this one remains unresolved. Whereas hypertension is managed with the medicines, this one remains unresolved. Number three, persistent anosmia and retained earwax and tinnitus. RO, eustachian tube dysfunction. Eustachian tube dysfunction. A tube that is not functioning. Meniere disease. Meniere disease is MINNIER. Disease and olfactory dysfunction. That is another second condition that is not resolved. Residual, number four is residual cervical radiculitis. Depending on where you come from, if it is American, radiculitis. British call it radiculitis. Following C6-7 disc replacement surgery. An adjacent level 5-6 disease. Number 5 is the non-erosive GERD, G-E-R-D in capital. Aerophagia, A-E-R-O-P-H-A-G-I-A, comma, belching in mild hiatus hernia. That is condition number 4 that remains unresolved. To bring court up to speed about the tinnitus, the most worrying effect, most immediate, is that the accused does not sleep. The condition it presents, in summary and easy language, is that he cannot sleep. That affects the brain, the body, and his pressure levels. Before I take you to the conclusions, the reviews at page 6 of your report explain the situation that I'm talking about. And that is the review of the ENT specialists. Dr. Biso, D-I-B-I-S-S-O. Number 1 was the ringing in the left ear for the last 4 years. Number 2 is the feeling of fullness more in the left ear. As compared to the right for the last 4 years. Fullness. It is hearing of fullness. More in the left ear than the right ear. As if it is filled up with something. Number 3 is muffled hearing. Muffled is M-U-F-F-L-E-D. Hissing sounds in both ears. Hissing. H-I-S-S. Vibrations in the left ear. Number 6 is anosmia since childhood. Anosmia is A-N-O-S-M-I-A. Number 7 frequent desire to clear the throat. And I believe you have observed that. And then other concerns were noted. By the doctor. Your Worship, when you go to page 7, B, the pulmonologist review. Explains what I discussed earlier as the effect of the post-COVID-19 situation, that it continues to suffer and that is irreversed and irreversible. That's what the doctors note. Now, these are the findings of Dr. Worodria. He has restrictive lung disease. So you have moved from cardiology, hypertension, lung, gut, and you're moving, as found by the doctors, the gastroenterology review at page 7. Dr. Apika or Apicha? Apicha. A-P-I-C-A. Found that the accused has a non-erosive GAD or erophagia and explains it as excessive swallowing of air. Now, together with belching, which you must have witnessed, Part D, if you're not worried enough about the first, Part D finds cervical spine X-ray which notes post arthroplasty, which is ARTH, ROP, LASTY, arthroplasty status of the cervical spine, which is a feature of cervical spondylosis. I have addressed your worship on the reported mild cylindrical bronchitis with hiatus hernia. The hiatus hernia is right here. And if you do some research, it tells you that beyond certain levels, it translates into cancer of the esophagus. Then lumbar spine X-ray reveals a new complex that we did not know before, that he has not been treated for before, but similar to the previous C6 and 7 disc that was operated and replaced area in India. So, if I may demonstrate, whereas the previous surgery was conducted on the upper part, the new findings now find similar complications in the lower back, which also requires now urgent disc replacement. Mulago was able to treat what was within their ability. And the accused remains grateful for their help. Probably he would not be here. And now the recommendations. As found at page 8, give the way forward. Number 1, that he should continue with his treatment of hypertension. Number 2, that he should live in a well-ventilated environment due to his post-COVID-19 lung condition. Number 3 concludes that the ENT conditions are irreversible and he should continue on his current medicines. Four, that he should continue with his current methodology of controlling non-erosive GERD in hiatus hernia symptoms. By using diet, posture adjustments, and the PPI medicines as prescribed by his physicians. Finally, of more interest is that the accused should have spinal review by his primary spine surgeons in India. To reevaluate him for the persistent upper limbs radiculitis. Mulago could not repeat MRI investigations, and they gave their reason. Because, and I quote, we are unable to ascertain the compatibility. Of the implants that is the artificial disc and that were used for his primary spine surgery. With the MRI scan available. In your direction, Your Worship, to prisons, you did instruct and particularly in order number 5, that the officer in charge of Madison Bay Prison shall ensure that the applicant continues to receive all prescribed medication and appropriate medical care pending and following the assessment, and shall implement the recommendations of the attending specialists. Your Honor, that is his life, both outside and in prison. Indeed, we wrote to the Commissioner General of Prisons on 7th July 2026 and we did upload these documents on ICMIS and requested for a certificate in respect of the accused's health status. Oh yes. Katase demanded that we put them on ICMIS. And my land friend Judith received the same on ICMIS. I know that she wants to have a physical copy.
It will be printed, Council. No worries.
I painfully declined to give it. Why? Because she has also not been courteous. She would have told me that she's committed. And the prison's authorities responded to our request for a certificate. Via the letter dated 8th July, the following day, 2026.
The same has been uploaded on ICMIS?
Yes, Your Worship. And we are grateful for their courtesy. Since they are aware, I was once courtesy. High copy. The conclusion, the summary of their letter, Your Worship, was that we wish to inform you that Mulago National Referral has already provided a comprehensive medical report containing adequate clinical findings, relevant information, and professional recommendations regarding the patient's condition. In view of the above, and since you're already in possession of the said medical report, you are advised to rely on and utilize the same for the intended proceedings as sufficiently addresses pertinent medical issues. In other words, it's a concurrence. Now, with those, Your Honor, now that your hands are tied in providing bail, we pray as follows. One, that your remand instructions include an order, because I know you're going to remand him, and with a smile, you're going to remand him with an order that the prison's authorities transfer the accused person to Fortis Memorial Hospital in India. Fortis Memorial Research Institute, Gurugram, in India, under guard and protection, the same way he was guarded in Mulago. We appreciate that he is a prisoner and he will remain a prisoner. Number two, that he be allowed a caretaker in form of his wife. Who shall be moved at the accused's expense. Again, painfully. They move their prisoner. The wife will move herself separately at her cost. Your Worship, that the accused while in hospital be allowed visitors that are able to visit him. I didn't make the same prayer for Mulago because I imagined the kind of influx and population. With the Gurugram, the numbers will definitely be limited. We pray that while in India, in hospital, he be afforded available consular services as a citizen. And that upon recovery or improvement, upon discharge, he be remanded back to Ruzira, Murchison Bay, as a discharged patient under medical observation. That upon discharge from hospital in India, he be remanded again to Murchison, to be received in Murchison Bay as a discharged patient You know, there are now two forms of discharge: from hospital. We are not talking about from prison yet. Under medical observation. The accused is willing to deposit his passport with prison authorities to facilitate that process, if you be pleased, offer the same. In the alternative, and pending that, we pray for the following in order to manage the other conditions. Your Worship, in the previous hearing, we did raise the concern of the accused's tinnitus pillow. That he used before. He used in Mulago. Having been dismantled by prison's authorities. I want to believe owing to its nature.
So they dismantled it, and it's no longer now functional. So this sound cannot be transmitted inside here.
So he has to rely, therefore, to depend on sedatives including clonazepam. Bromazepam. Bro, like brother, ma, M-A-Z-E-R. And diazepam. Medicines with adverse side effects on the organs of a human body. Everybody knows what happens to the kidney, what happens to the liver when someone takes basically overdose of medicine, of medication. So you would pray that you also direct the prison's authorities to avail a new tinnitus pillow. We shall give them the address and they pay. We don't want to receive their money. Also that they provide a more ventilated space. We repeatedly appreciate they have tried their best in terms of prison conditions. But the accused's breathing is highly compromised. We are aware that the minimum this pillow takes to be delivered here is 1 month. Originally it took us 3 months because it had other medical prescriptions, taking the measurements, the diagnosis and everything. But now that they have these specifications, it takes them 1 month to have it delivered. So maybe before I take leave, I would request that you permit the accused. There are particular areas this medical language is alien to me. So there are particular conditions that I may not bring out properly, which I request that you permit.